poll that just came out from CNBC that shows Democrats improving their generic ballot margins since April of 2025 after the Epstein conspiracy has really blown up in the news. Dems have increased their popularity by 1 point compared to April of 2025, also CNBC poll, and Republicans have lost 2 points of support. What do you think, besides maybe the Epstein controversy, is driving this?
I think that the fact that Democrats are up now, I think 5 points according to the CNBC poll, shows that Americans are just not. They're just sick and tired of Trump saying that he was going to lower costs. I mean, I don't know. I went to the grocery store; costs weren't lowered. People are starting to feel the effects of the tariffs. He's been able to hold that off a bit, and then we're just seeing the jobs numbers totally collapse. I mean, the economy is literally in the gutters. I think if Donald Trump came in and just didn't do anything at all, we would be in a better position right now. Ironically enough, his numbers would probably be in a better position. I think a big important thing here to point out is that this poll was conducted after the big beautiful bill had been passed and signed by Donald Trump, and you saw a lot of resentment from Americans towards that bill, rightfully so, because it's cutting Medicaid, it's cutting SNAP, it's delivering trillions of dollars in tax cuts to the rich, and now we just found out that the amount of debt that it's going to add is actually higher than 3 trillion, which was originally estimated. It's going to be 4.1 trillion dollars. So I think Americans are seeing this administration and they're not seeing what they voted for, right? They voted for lower cost. They voted for bills that actually help the average American. They voted for less wars, right? And he attacked Iran, wasn't too popular. So it's just a culminate. It's a lot of things coming together, and I think a lot of people, including people who voted for him, are realizing that this isn't really what we voted for. It's not what I wanted. And this guy's really just in it for himself. I think Democrats have marginally improved. I still think they're pretty unpopular across the country. But you're seeing voices like Ro Khanna's, right? You're seeing voices like the Texas Senate Democrat. I forgot his name, but he was out there on Joe Rogan speaking. So you have a lot of Democrats that are going on online media circles and speaking to Americans. But I still think the party has a lot to work on overall. But I think this is pretty shocking to me when I saw it today because I've just been in the gutter about the party. A 5 point increase, well, 5 points now. I'll take it. A lot more improvement needs to be done, but I think Donald Trump is just not delivering for the American people. His base is angry at him, independents are angry at him, and then Democrats were already angry at him.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are pretty politically plugged in. And 1 point improvements for Democrats over a how many months has it been? 4 months is something, but also statistically not a huge margin. We started this podcast because of the 14 percentage point swing from Democrats to Republicans in 2020 to 2024 among young men, and I think it's also important to realize that this is just one snap judgment. Um, a year and 3 months away from the midterms, 3 years and 3 months away from 2028. And also, it's important to realize that has to be a lot of groundwork that has to be laid for other groups that are making up the different portions of Democratic support or Republican support right now. And for us, it's important to really highlight that like Democratic messaging has to be reaching out to young men. It has to be reaching out to disenfranchised women across the country who feel like the Democrats have not really stepped up to the plate in terms of Roe and the Dobbs decision. You have to step up for all these different people who are maybe not already fully encompassed in the Democratic machine, in the bubble, and whatever you want to call it. And this is obviously an improvement, but Democrats could be winning much more right now.
Yeah,
Donald Trump is not exactly the most likable guy.
no.
I think he's a piece of shit. But yeah, I mean, there's some to take away from this, but we'll see where it goes over the next couple of months.
And to your point, I mean, we're seeing his approval rating just utterly collapse. I'm not just talking about MAGA likes to use Rasmussen. I think that's how you pronounce it. Even they're showing that Donald Trump is underwater by like 5 to 6 points. I think there was a poll that came out yesterday. This is a CBS News poll. I just want to show our viewers this real quick. And this is a big reason why we started this podcast, and we just want to talk about politics with our friends, is that amongst the 18 to 29-year-old age group, which me and Dylan are in, he had a 55% approval rating in February of 2025. This is a CBS poll. Okay, he had a 55% approval rating. He outright won young men it was like you just said, there was a 14-point swing. So there was something seriously going on. Now he has a 28% approval rating amongst that same demographic group. That's a 27-point change in the wrong direction for him. You're seeing this amongst millennials. You're seeing this among, I think, everybody across the board. A lot of people are becoming just just not, they're not too happy with what he's doing. And something to point out is that young men are not, Republicans need to treat young men as a voting group that can move away from them, because they will move away from them, especially when they're breaking away from promises like, releasing the Epstein files, going after big pharma, all these other issues that young men and Americans care about. So I think Trump is playing with some hearts right now, and those hearts are not liking him back. So I think there's potential for Democrats. I think the fact that we're up 5 points right now, the Democrats are up, is an improvement from where we were. I mean, we were in the gutter, but there's still a lot more work to do, and you need to reach out, go on these online podcast platforms, speak to Americans, and just be authentic, man. A lot of people just appreciate authentic people in politics.
Yeah, I think the specific number for young men was Trump won the group with 50%, 56% of the vote. So that kind of speaks to you where the young voter bloc was always part of the left wing progressive Democratic coalition, and that is just a failure of the Democratic Party more than it is a win for Trump and
Yep.
MAGA. Just because Trump is losing with the 18 to 29-year-old age group right now, and just because maybe he's a little bit underwater with young men, does not mean that they will vote for Democrats, and that needs to be like drilled into the whatever political consultants, whatever policy people, whatever think tanks are in DC right now. They need to realize that just because Trump is unpopular right now does not mean that the lesser of two evils argument won't come up again and young men won't vote for a Republican again. I think there's a
Exactly.
aspirational vision that we can give for young men that does not exist right now in the Democratic Party, and it's made some strides. We're not calling men pieces of shit as much anymore,
Oh, wow.
but well, yeah, it's crazy improvements. I'm so happy about it. But I think I think there needs to be an aspirational vision on the Democratic Party for young men, for the younger voter groups, even for 30 to 44-year-old, the next age group up above us. Affordability is an issue. They're not buying houses as early as their parents were. A larger percentage of their wages are going to rent and utilities and food. So these are all issues that Democrats can win on. They just need to position themselves correctly on it.
100%. I think that we need to realize that just because, like you said, just because Donald Trump is currently unpopular with a lot of people, including young men and young voters in general, that does not mean they're going to vote for Democrats automatically. You still need to speak to them. And when we say you need to speak to young men, that doesn't mean you need to stop speaking to these other voter groups that are essential to the Democratic Party. That just means broadening your tent. Not attacking people just because they may have voted for Donald Trump in the past. Guess what? If you want to win elections, you need to change minds. The way you do that is actually showing up, talking about issues they care about, issues that young men care about. Guess what? A lot of young women care about. The average American cares about, like you said, affordability, housing. I don't know how the hell young people, including ourselves, are going to afford homes in this economy. So go out there, keep doing it. I'm seeing some Democrats do that. I know Ro Khanna might be on the podcast soon. He's been doing an amazing job at this, and let's see more of that. Let's see more of it. Go after Trump, but also provide a vision that a lot of Americans can hold on to. Americans like to feel hopeful, and that's what we should be doing. We should be offering a hopeful vision.
Damn, name drop. Was not expecting that. I didn't. I was not expecting you to say Rokana. I will be there for that one, Billy. All right, I will be there for that one. I also think it's important to mention that when you say broadening the tent, that doesn't mean Liz Cheney's. That doesn't mean getting crazy Republicans to be part of our coalition, like it was in 2024. It means just like don't hate men. That's like pretty simple. And maybe you can have someone like Scott Galloway, who I think is a great person on the left right now, who's giving this vision of left wing masculinity that isn't like, oh, I hate women.
Yeah.
It just if let's stop hating each other so much, guys. Kumbaya, peace and love.
Yeah.
Like I'm from California. We're peace and love at heart.
Yeah, but let's see what happens in the future. I mean, come back and see. Let's watch some more episodes, and if we do have the congressman on, Dylan, you will be there. But thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. It really helps the algorithm. Let's push this out. And we're excited to read your comments. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about afterwards.
Yes, and help us fight MAGA online. There's a small left wing online alternative media space, so please subscribe, like Belay said, support us, and we'll see you soon.